We live? I think we're live. Okay, cool. All right. Well, that was easy to figure out. Jimmy Randazzo show. We are testing for StreamYard for guests. We'll do 20, 25 minutes real quick. Crazy NFL Sunday yesterday. Gonna go on to Twitter Spaces right now. Yankees. Let's start that. Let's get it going. I'm going to also read Jeff Passan's article. And a 3, 2, 1. We are live. This is Jimmy Randazzo show. Powered apparently by StreamYard. We'll get that fixed. What's going on, everyone, today? We are on Twitter Spaces and YouTube Live right now. We are talking Yoshinobu Yamamoto. It's Christmas time. It's Monday. And I am going to read this Jeff Passan article live. Apparently, the teams were meeting with Yamamoto yesterday, the day before, the entire week prior, but there was no official word on what a contract would look like. And now the official negotiations are going on. We'll be taking questions. Again, we're going to keep this tight. 25, 30 minutes. Let's talk about Yamamoto. Need some callers to come up and talk about it. And we can also talk NFL stuff if we need to. But again, we're live. We're checking out to make sure that the YouTube is good. And guys, let's get some retweets on the Twitter space. We got Bobby coming up today. Shout out to Bobby. But yeah, let's go. Let's get some things going. Bobby, what's going on, man?
Afternoon, Jim. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm all right. I overslept this morning. I didn't do my morning show like I usually do. I got in late to do it today, so I got that done and out of the way. But yeah, the passing stuff coming out, I was just able to read it. And then you have Martino, who's literally just got exposed, which was hilarious. But yeah, I think it's kind of looking like the Carlos Correa situation from last year, where they took the holiday break and then they came back, and then everything heated up like it was the 4th of July. So I think we'll hear something after Christmas on him. And then quickly about my Giants, my Giants stink. That's all I got to say on that one.
New York Giants?
Yes, sir. I'm a Giants fan.
Yeah, yesterday was a tough day to be. Actually, the last 24 hours were tough to be Italian American, because Tommy DeVito loses the game yesterday down in New Orleans, and now there's complications that he told some pizzeria that he would stop by for $10K. Now the agent wants $20K. So the New York Giants, eventually they were going to come down to earth. Right now, the Giants would be drafting 7th overall. Jaden Daniels looks like a lock in that position, especially after the two huge offensive linemen go. But you said you read. You know what? We're going to do a live reading right now of the Jeff Passan article. Let's get that done. But guys, retweet the space that got you in here. We got 1 like on the space. Everybody knows the rules. Appreciate everybody for hopping on. Again, we're on YouTube Live right now. We're just trying to figure out all of the work. So shout out to Bobby, who retweeted as well. But yeah, let's read this article. Obviously, Passan wants to click. And obviously, we are all obsessed with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So let's do it. Again, let's see. Shout out to Bobby, Noah, Cole, Johnny, Joe, Anthony, Steve, Marco, Ted, Jeff. Appreciate all you guys for coming in. And let's do this real quick. Inside it, he carries a yoga mat, wooden bats, blocks, tiny soccer balls, and mini javelins. When he's ready, The 25-year-old Yamamoto lays out his yoga mat, arches himself into a backbend, and pretzels his body with the precision of a contortionist. He lifts himself into headstands and corkscrews, his hips and legs. I feel like I'm reading The Nightmare Before Christmas. He steadies himself on blocks. Yada, 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 yada. He's basically a guy, he's not a typical training regiment for a pitcher. Most athletes really, but not particularly in baseball. There's room for independent thinkers for starting pitchers. Okay, Jeff, tell us what's going on. 5'10", 176 pounds. Yamamoto will be among the smallest starting pitchers in the MLB when he debuts next year. But he does get up to 99 miles an hour with the splitter that drops, and his 12-6 obviously is really good. Yada, 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 yada. This article stinks. Bobby, what did you take away from this article? I'm looking through it. I don't think I really got anything.
I was talking about his tweet that he put out, Jimmy, not the article, the tweet that he put out. So about how there's been no actual offers to him. That's the one I'm talking about.
Sure, I guess. It's inaccurate that he's gotten. You know what? You're telling me that Steve, not you, but Jeff Space telling us that Steve Cohen didn't talk numbers when he was with Yamamoto at dinner. I find that very, very hard to believe.
I don't believe it either because he also went and talked with the Yankees, and there's no way Hal didn't give numbers to him either. And so it's like, I'm wondering if there's, like I said, I think they're going to go into the holiday break, into Christmas, into the holiday break, and we will hear something shortly after Christmas. I'm getting Carlos Carrasco vibes from this, Jim. I really am. And I'm not the only one. I've had a couple people say that to me, too, over the past couple of days.
You mean Carlos Correa?
Yeah, Correa, yeah. I'm getting that kind of a vibe. Last year, I was down in Delaware last year when all the news came out. I'm going to Delaware again this year for Christmas. So something might happen again when I'm in Delaware. So Delaware might be the lucky charm to see what happens with Yamamoto.
All right. Thank you, Bobby. No, I mean, listen. I think it's really important. First of all, if you're on the YouTube, go subscribe to Jimmy Randazzo Show on YouTube. Shout out to Bobby. Let's get more people in this chat. We got only 2 people who retweeted this. Guys, above my profile right here, click on Twitter, click on the retweet button. We're going to get to everybody talking. Love for you guys to come up, ask questions as well. We will be doing a Tankathon watch. It's a lot easier. Shout out to anybody who's on the YouTube channel. Again, we're bringing. Oh, I forgot to tweet out that we're on YouTube right now. Have to find the YouTube link again. Figuring it out slowly but surely. I'm actually very, very interested to see what this contract negotiation is going to be like. Again, shout out to Bobby, Noah, Jaime, Johnny, Heel Turn, Joe, Anthony, Steve, Angela, Matthew, XT, Ted, Dog, Kerry, and if you don't have a profile picture, you get removed from the space. That is a staple always on here. Bobby, so you're a Mets fan, right?
Yes, sir.
What's a number? Is there a number, being a Mets fan, that scares you for Yamamoto?
A little over 450 is where I would start getting a little scared. I'm right around the 350, 390 range. Anything above 400, I think is a little bit crazy. I know he's 25 years old, but he hasn't pitched in the major leagues yet. And I did the same thing with Kodai Senga, which is, Kodai Senga is a great ball player. Was in the Rookie of the Year running this year. But I look at him and I go, he's got that, you bring up that slider that drops out. from under, basically kind of like the ghost sport from Kodai. I'm going around 400 plus is where I start getting a little iffy. What about you, Jim?
Anything over 350. Someone's saying, I can't wait to see Yankee fans crying because Dodgers signed Yamamoto. Hey, listen, if that's what happens, that's what happens. Live on YouTube Spaces, YouTube and Spaces talking, and okay, just clicking that out. I just need to throw that up. Okay. I think that 360 is probably the number where I'm like, okay, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe it's not worth it. Hey, Yuki Matsui, I appreciate you commenting. Listen, we need people on the YouTube as well, and we're figuring out all the things. I think this looks a little bit. If you're on YouTube, I think this looks a little bit better. It has at least my name here. I don't know. I can do other things, I guess.
You're kind of looking to do Twitch too, Jim. You might be able to get a. There's a big sports following over on Twitch as well.
Yeah, listen. I don't. I think I could do. I think I could switch.
Yeah, you can multi-stream between Twitch and YouTube right now if you're not a partner on Twitch.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'm just.
I just wanted to let you know because Twitch is a little bit easier with the chat, and it's also a little bit easier to find people on Twitch.
Well, you've done StreamYard before?
I stream over on Twitch sometimes. It's in YouTube. Trying to find people in YouTube, like the YouTube live algorithm, is a pain in the butt. But Anthony's here. I'm gonna shut my mouth and let him talk.
All right. Yeah, we got 20 people on the chat on. We got 20 people on the chat on Spaces. There's only a few people on YouTube right now, but that's fine. We're working out what to do. I think we got the blue. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what's going on. There we go. All right, Anthony, what's going on, brother? How are you?
What's going on, Jimmy? If we don't get Yamamoto, right, would you be okay with pivoting to like a Cease or like someone like that? I heard Cease is in conversations. Or like powering up the bullpen with guys like I don't remember his name exactly, the reliever from Toronto, and Josh Hader.
Yeah, so the Yankees currently have 4 starting pitchers right now. I think that they have obviously an ace in Garrett Cole, and they probably have 2 number 3s in Nestor Cortez and Rodon, and then they have number 4, number 5 in Clark Schmidt. So Dylan Cease is a name that's definitely on the table. Another guy that you have to think that will be on the table is Corbin Burns. I know there were reports now that the Brewers didn't want to trade Corbin Burns, but obviously it's used as leverage. You need to, that's 100% leverage right there. Why would you say that you want to trade Corbin Burns? Like, that's going to be used against you in a trade package. So I think those are the 2 huge names that you look at. And again, if Carlos Rodon had pitched well last year, we're looking at, adding a 3 or a 4, but because of his, inefficiencies last year, you have to look and go out and get a number 2. And Cease's obviously could be filed in there, and obviously Corbin Burns would be electric in New York. But obviously we're still on to Yamamoto right now. Any other questions, Anthony? Anthony got kicked out of the thing. Chris, what's going on, brother? How are you today? Chris, you are on. What's going on, brother?
What's up? So, I'm having a little trouble with this Yoshi or Dylan Cease situation. I think it should be both. If I'm just being honest here, and I know obviously we gave up, a lot of prospects for the Soto trade, but reading between the lines from, certain reporters and stuff, I guess the Dylan Cease trade wouldn't be MLB ready players, maybe some AA guys. Now, obviously, there'd still be a decent amount of trade prospects, but I don't think they're gonna ask for our top-notch guys. So I don't mind getting both. Is what I'm gonna get at here. I don't mind getting both. And if the Yoshis, I think personally, from everything I'm reading, and it's just reports, but I think we get Yoshi for sure. But okay, we get Yoshi. I don't think it should be okay. Now let's move away from pitching. I would still want C's in that situation.
Yeah, I think okay. So I think if you sign a veteran, there's chances of more of a chance of injury. I think if you're signing Yamamoto, you're signing a 25-year-old. You're expecting him to, be a horse this year. But yeah, I mean, listen, you can never have enough starting pitching. Obviously, guys get hurt during the year. Would I be okay with Cole, Yamamoto, Rodon, Nestor, Clark Schmidt going into the season? Yeah. Would I feel better with Dylan Cease on the team as well? Yeah. I think if the Yankees get Yamamoto, though, they're starting pitching and they're relieving their pitching probably beats out the offense by a little bit. Then you probably pivot to third base. But again, I think the Yankees, by signing Yamamoto, I agree with you. They aren't let's not sign Yamamoto, think that we have this in the bag. You have to constantly get better during the offseason. I think that the Yankees have sat back for a few years, and now they're realizing, hey, we probably gonna have to go out and make a splash. Obviously the Yankees made a trade for Juan Soto. They, made a trade for Alex Verdugo, and I think they're doing a great job this offseason. But the number of money they've spent so far this offseason, it's $0 in free agency.
And I wanted to touch up on the Rodon thing. I know there's some inconsistencies last year, and everybody's kind of worried, but I'm not so worried about Rodon. I think it was just whatever the case was, whether he had shit going on outside of baseball, maybe the mechanics weren't right, maybe just working with Matt Blake didn't really click at first the way it would have with most pitchers that have come over. So I don't know. I'm not really worried about Rodon. I don't think you just have that much of a drop off in a season. I think he picks it back up. But yeah, I think we I didn't catch a lot of the stuff that was going on earlier, but I think we get Yoshi for sure. I'm really confident in that. And kind of touching your point too, I was thinking while you were talking. Yeah, like a lot of the guys, like a lot of the teams now are starting to do, well, not starting. It's been like that for a while, but they're doing what we used to do. Where we kind of fell back on all the acquisitions and stuff like that. You got Arizona. They make the trip and they make moves. San Diego last year before, they were making moves. Dodgers now making moves. Red Sox for a while were doing the same thing. Their payroll was high for years. So I think, we got to get back to it because a lot of teams adapted what we did, and now a lot of teams are doing it. Now they don't have the money we have, but they're making the moves. So I think we got to get back to, and we have this offseason has been great, but I wouldn't say it's spectacular. I think we still have stuff to do, and like you said, that's a big factor of it. Spending $0, now let's spend the money.
Yeah, and again, Verdugo costs $9. Obviously, Soto's contract is, big this year, but also at the same time, that's money that's off the books in 2025. I think they're working smarter. And I think that, when you don't make the playoffs and you have a huge payroll, you become a mark. And that's what Brian Cashman has become this year. And, again, I think that Brian Cashman will probably be the GM in, 2053. But that doesn't mean that when you don't make the playoffs that there won't be repercussions. And, the fans feel it. And when the organization starts feeling it from the fans and they start to feel it from the positive fans, because obviously there's always going to be negative fans out there, but when you start to feel it from the positive fans, there has to be a trickle down effect. And, you have to spend money in order to win. Chris, go ahead.
Last thing, I promise.
No, go ahead.
Do you think if we make the playoffs, Cashman is this aggressive. Like, I think missing the playoffs, like, I don't know if we get Yoshi and Soto if we make the playoffs last year. I think us missing the playoffs kind of woke him up, and, obviously listening to the fans, you can kind of tell in those press conferences. We spoke about this before, but I know there's a couple of people here. Cashman has dealt with the toughest questions, the toughest market for ages, and never snapped back the way he was. Like, he was real ugly in some of those interviews that he was doing. So I think missing the playoffs really helped us. It sucked last year as a Yankees fan. Like, I know we all want to make the playoffs every year, and we fell short for years on years. But at the end of the day, I think that was a blessing in disguise. Like, us missing the playoffs kind of woke them up, because if we make the playoffs, and let's just say losing the ALCS, or even, whatever, the wild card round, division round, whatever it is, I don't think they're as aggressive. I think missing the playoffs was a blessing in disguise last year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, I think that Aaron Boone should have been gone because they didn't make the playoffs. I think there has to be repercussions, but, they trade for Juan Soto. I'm trying to be a guy that's more, it's the players on the field than it is the manager. Trying to do that through free agency. There's no reason to get on the manager during the offseason. Obviously, he's going to be here for next year, so I'm trying to stay positive about him. But, yeah, I mean, it probably is a good thing that they didn't make the playoffs, because we'd be sitting here, they'd be resting on their laurels, and now they're going out, they're getting a guy like Soto. Hey, maybe we don't re-sign Soto, but at least this year we have him for 162 games. And we're also talking about a guy in Juan Soto who I think he played 162 games last year. Aaron, you're up next on the Jimmy Randazzo Show and Yankee Space. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Jimmy? Hey, Jeff Passan out here dropping passing bombs. Out here proving all these so-called reporters putting false news out there. So the alleged $300 million bids for Yamamoto are inaccurate, and that the bidding should start today. So I'm curious, do you think this benefits the Yankees if these $300 million bids are inaccurate? Like, do we even know if they're actually that high? Or
listen, the same reason why I'm not going to get high or low when Jim Bowden, says something is the same reason. Like, listen, when Jeff Passan tweets that somebody's been signed, then we know it's the truth. But him writing an article for ESPN, it doesn't really make sense. If he tweeted something and said, "Hey, the Yamamoto range is in the 250 millions," but if Yamamoto makes $300 million, this inaccurate report's about $300 million, Jeff is actually wrong about it. Right now, I think that Yamamoto's going to get $30 million a year. I think that is probably his market price right now. When you're talking about billionaires like Steve Cohen and the Dodgers and the Steinbrenners, and then you talk about the Phillies have money, the Red Sox have money. So for him to say they're inaccurate reports because officially they haven't been told that, like, you don't think that Steve Cohen is saying at dinner, "Hey, I'll give you $300 million to sign right now"? Of course it's happening. So obviously they talk numbers. He didn't just sit down with them and like, "Hey, you like this steak?" Like, I don't know. I don't really know. So I don't know what – I think there's – maybe this is what I'll say. Jeff Passan does a great job. Jeff Passan probably knew, probably from Yamamoto's agents, we're probably not going to sign until the 19th. I figured that that was the number once I looked back and I read the reports and I saw that all these teams were meeting with him one time, two times, mystery teams, this, that, the other thing. Obviously, Yamamoto has till January 4th to sign. So it could be a long Christmas. But for him to say that the reports are about $300 million are inaccurate, I think they were just guesstimates. I know that there were some people that threw it out there. Andy Martino's reporting stuff about it and all these people. But, like, obviously, I would trust Jeff Passan more about an official signing. But to tell me that he's not going to make $300 million, I think he's going to. So, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what or how to feel about any of it because I think he's going to get $300 million when it's all said and done. Ted, shout out to Ted. We got some people on the stream. Commenting. Let's look at this. Shout out to Yuki Matsui, Eugene, and Ted. Let's go with the most recent thing. Yanks met with Yamamoto after Cohen tells me that he's got an idea of what Cohen is willing to spend on money, but was honest with him on preference. Goal to meet Yanks was an offer close enough to sign. Jimmy, why meet with Yanks in person after meeting with Cohen is the $64,000 question. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that Yamamoto is using his leverage. Like, if I walked into a room and I was like, hey, I'm a free agent, I can go to WFAN, I can go to, Barstool Sports, New York Daily News, Post, this, that, and the other thing. And then one guy sits down with me and he's like, a billionaire, he's like, hey, I'm going to give you $300,000. And, let's say my price was $100,000 at the time. You're not going to not tell the other teams that you were offered $300,000. Maybe I want to go work at this network as opposed to this network. But when you're getting paid what would you rather be? It's an age-old question. Jay-Z, what would you rather be? Overpaid or underrated? That is the $1 million question right now. Because if you want to be overpaid, he's going to pick the Mets. I think that's a fair assessment at this point. Cohen's probably going to have to pay the extra money in order for him to get signed, sealed, and delivered. And if that's what Yamamoto is most fixated on, he's going to be there. Because I think the worst kept secret in sports right now is that Juan Soto will be a Yankee. And for all these Mets fans out there saying that, Juan Soto, he's going to be ours next year. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that the Yankees are more focused solely on the fact that Juan Soto is here. If they get Yamamoto, great. If not, Sasaki's coming up next. And there are veteran pitchers out there. And there is a market. We're not desperate right now. I might seem desperate because I'm desperate to win, but they're not desperate as far as starting pitching market because there are other names out there right now. Does that cost us, Peraza? Sure. But what did I say? Hug your girl, not your farm. Hug your girl, not your farm. Aaron, any other questions, thoughts, concerns?
That was just pretty much my only question there, Jimmy.
All right, let's do another shout outs to the people on the Twitter spaces and shout out to everybody on the live right now. I'll do an hour. Shout out to Chris, Aaron, Bruno, G, Noah, Hobby, Swift, Gabs, Hector, Bill, Moose, Johnny, Joe, Future Angel Dog, Jeff, Sambro, and the rest of the people in here. Bruno, you are up. Bruno, what's going on today? Bruno, what's going on?
What's your opinion? What do you think they're going to do with Peraza? Because speaking of Peraza, he is now out of options.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So ran the numbers. My projections on how many games Anthony Rizzo and DJ LeMahieu are going to play this year does have a huge correlation with the Peraza, because if those guys can stay healthy all year, Peraza plays 40, 50 games. But when those guys goes down, Peraza is going to play, even if we go, DJ plays 100 games, and Rizzo plays 100 games, that's still, between the two of them, you're going to need 120 extra games. So either the Yankees are going to use him for those 100-some-odd games at third base, and, when Rizzo needs a day off, DJ plays first base or vice versa. But you got to get 320 games out of these two positions. So Peraza is obviously going to be huge there and at second base. Having said that, if Yamamoto signs with a different team and you have to trade Peraza away, do you sign a guy like IKF to play another year for $7-8 million with the Yankees? That's where you pivot to find another guy that you like to be the backup position if and when DJ LeMahieu goes down. So that's really, it's a fluid situation. But yeah, I think that Peraza is a trade chip. And if he's here with the Yankees in 2024, great. And if he's not with the Yankees, that means they went out and traded for a starting pitcher and they're serious about winning. So I think both are decent ideas.
There's also a lane too where if they're going to package Glaber out, say they sign Yamamoto and they're right up against the luxury tax and they want to shed some salary, they could send out Glaber and there's 15 million you're going to get back, and you can move DJ to second, and now Peraza's your third baseman. I'm not worried about Peraza's glove; it's his bat that I'm worried about.
Correct. 100%.
And then you have Oswaldo Cabrera, who's your Swiss Army knife. And if you go out and sign an IKF too and have two Swiss Army knives, they can play infield or outfield. I mean, that big time, especially with Trent Grisham out there too.
Yeah, again, Oswaldo Cabrera, nicest guy in the world. I don't want him on the roster next year. I don't want him on the roster next year, truthfully. Shout out to Ralph, who's in the YouTube. Shout out to the 4 guys in YouTube right now. We got 20 people in the spaces approximately. Mike Puma just tweeted that the Mets will offer the offer will come in the next couple of days with Yamamoto making a decision by Christmas. That makes sense. Sorry, Bruno, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you don't want Cabrera, it's nice to have a guy like a Cabrera or an IKF to where, say you sub in Grisham for some reason and somebody else gets hurt, now you're not up Schitt's Creek. You can just throw them out there and you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, when it comes down to it, the Yankees, they should be fixated on the starting pitcher. And if that is trading away a Peraza or Perea to get a job done for a starting pitcher right now, you got to do it.
Listen, you preach it to the choir, Jimmy, because I'm a strong believer in if we do get Yamamoto, and it's still an if. I'm confident, but it's still an if. I'm one of those people that would like them to go out and package Peraza, Pereira, and something else maybe, and try to go get a Dylan Cease. Because Pereira's blocked, he ain't coming back up. You know what I mean? This year, and probably next year not because of Spencer Jones. So he's blocked. I mean, there's no spot for him on the team. Yeah,
again, I think that the Yankees should try to keep Spencer Jones. Obviously, Dominguez, Volpe, Wells. Other than that, hug your girl, not your farm. So that's really where I'm at.
And Hampton and Will Warren, I'd like to have them as depth pieces in AAA.
Sure. Why not? Sure. I think that's perfectly fine. I think we've got a lot of people in here. Shout out to the people who are on the YouTube as well. Let's get to the next caller. Let's get to Future. Future, you are up next. Swift, we'll get to you. I saw that you wanted to come up here. Future, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, what's up, Jimmy? I'm not gonna lie. When it comes down to having to move Peraza or Cabrera, assuming we do get Yamamoto, I would rather just try to mainly just focus moving Peraza over Cabrera. I know how you strongly disagree of having Cabrera on the team, and I can understand why. It's not like his bat was the most productive for the little time he was here.
It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah. And yeah, that's fair. And honestly, I can't disagree with that. But being that we now that our bats have improved immensely with getting Verdugo and Soto, and I know Verdugo's not some crazy guy that's his bat's the same, but no, he's a contact guy, and we kind of do need that, a lefty contact guy who can abuse the short porch if needed. But I think I would rather try to keep Cabrera if you don't plan on getting IKF back for if you need the Swiss Army knife. But I'd be a little more confident of keeping Oswaldo and letting IKF walk. because I feel like it's a little cheaper to keep Cabrera and then trade off a few prospects.
Listen, the last thing the Yankees need is Oswaldo Cabrera taking up a roster spot. I'm sorry. It doesn't. He does not help the team. He can't hit a baseball. I wanted to believe in him last year. They gave him an entire year to try to figure something out. I know he's young. I know he's a nice guy. Honestly, he's literally one of the nicest guys probably to walk the planet right now. But I don't think he can hit a baseball, and for that reason, I'm out.
Would you prefer them than trading him and then bringing back IKF then?
Yeah, again, what is the market for Oswaldo Cabrera? I don't see it being anything. I just don't see it making sense to A, either trade him, or B, him being on the roster. And that's just really where. Listen, again, nice guy, absolutely. I was calling him the Wizard of Oz. I thought he could. I thought he could be the Swiss Army knife. But now, really looking at the team, what is he? A 70 overall tops?
No, yeah,
he's a 54 at hitting. There is no market. There's no market for Cabrera.
It's a fair trade-off. It's just I'm more or less looking at the defensive side due to the fact that as much as I love the fact that we got Soto, I guarantee we're gonna see a lot of flukes when it comes to defensively relating to Soto, and I'm only saying that because Oswaldo is a great defender, gold glove caliber, arguably. I would say he's possibly could reach that goal. But that's the only reason why I would say try to maybe, if it comes down to the wire, to keep Cabrera, because it would be a little cheaper over IKF.
But what does it matter? What is it? But yeah, I don't think that we need. I don't think we don't need the word cheap in our vocabulary when it comes to the Yankees. Truthfully, you know what I mean? Listen, no, it just there's cap space. In other, obviously the luxury tax is the luxury tax, but we're not. I don't think that Cabrera is going to be the end all, if all, be all, and I don't want him on the team. Again, it's cute with the necklace and this, that, and the other thing. Nice guy, great with the fans, but just because you're a nice guy and you can feel well doesn't mean that you can hit a baseball, and that's what the Yankees couldn't do last year. They just couldn't do that. So that's really where I'm at. Guys,
fair
enough. Go to everybody. There's 21 people in here on the spaces. Just click on my profile, smash the retweet button on my last two tweets that were live on YouTube and the Twitter space. There's 21 of us, so let's just get that going for a minute, and then we're going to get to Swift. But yeah, go to my Twitter page and just smash retweet on the last two, retweet and like on the last two. Swift, you're up. And Future, I appreciate you. Listen, there's a lot of people that feel the same way about Oswaldo Cabrera as you. I just personally don't want him on the roster. Again, he could be good in 3-4 years. I just don't think he's a professional player as of now.
That's fair enough. Like I said, I was only looking at it through a defensive perspective. The extra defense wouldn't hurt. But no, yeah, I get what you said.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Again, smash the retweet button on the last two tweets. Thank you, Ted. Yeah, exactly. We are on StreamYard. Again, we're figuring out the whole YouTube situation. We got a bunch of people on the spaces on Twitter as usual, and I appreciate you guys. And we're gonna start getting guests up here on the YouTube channel as well. But I love doing the spaces because we can just hear people. And speaking of hearing people, Swift, you are out next on the Jimmy Randazzo Show and Yankee Spaces. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Jimmy? What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
So I have a question for Future. Future, you were saying that you would rather have Oswaldo over IKF because he's cheaper?
No, I said that if it comes down to the wire, that if you might need to go cheaper, I would say you could let IKF walk It's not a matter of prefer. If I'm being honest, on a surface level, I'd rather have IKF. Like, I'm an IKF boy for life. It's just a matter of if it comes down to the wire that you may need to like try to like maybe save a little bit of cash. I'm not saying I'm not saying Hal will do that, and it doesn't seem Hal is going to do that. But if you had to, big if, you keep Oswaldo over IKF because you feel like there's no need to get IKF, and you feel like you can do away with Oswaldo. It's purely a big if, not saying like a big need. I would prefer IKF though in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, IKF is obviously worth more than Oswaldo at this point in time. And I would be happy for IKF, and he went out and got $9 million next year. I want him to get paid. I think he was a great Yankee. In quotes, great Yankee, as in he actually could hit the baseball. I never wanted him to be a starting shortstop. I don't know how that situation came about. Oh, yeah, wait, I do, because we traded for Josh Donaldson and thought we had some, like, brilliant plan in place, and it didn't work out. So, it is what it is with IKF. Again, if they trade Cabrera, would I want IKF as a backup? Absolutely. That's perfectly fine. But I'm out on Cabrera completely. Out on Cabrera. Until he can prove that he can hit 240, you can't really have him on the team. Ralph, I would like to get Whit Merrifield. Guy plays everywhere. I would take IKF back up too. Whit Merrifield, I actually had this conversation off air about Whit Merrifield. Absolutely. I mean, but I think that the Yankees right now are saying, listen, this 1 year contract thing isn't the worst thing. Like, we have Gleyber for a year. We have Soto for a year. You can figure out what you want to do. Our defense is covered with Trent Grisham, toss Cabrera with an elite prospect in a future trade. Yeah, again, I don't know what Oswaldo Cabrera is on the market. And that's no shot at him. Again, I told you he's a nice guy. I like him, but I don't really know what you do with him.
So, Jimmy, I have a question. Say we do sign Yoshi, in the next couple of days. There's rumors that we're still in the market for Corbin Burns or Cease or whoever. Do you think that's possible even if we sign Yoshi? Or is that just a dream?
Say it again.
I was saying that I was seeing on Twitter the last couple of days that even if the Yankees do sign Yoshi, that they might still go out and trade for Corbin Burns or a Dylan Cease or something. Do you think that's possible? Or do you think it's just like a dream?
If they already sign Yamamoto?
Yeah.
Again, then I would be more comfortable with sitting back on it and seeing if Peraza could be a guy. But again, if they did that, perfectly fine with it. If you sign Yamamoto, I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world to see Peraza for 100 games. But if they, again, I think that Peraza, his value just keeps on going like this, slowly but surely. I don't know. I don't know what the market is for Peraza right this second. It could be higher than we all expect.
The part where Future was saying Pereira, there's no room for him on the team now. So now he's stuck in AAA. I'd rather package him and Peraza and a couple other, low-end prospects for a pitcher. Peraza, Pereira, and maybe a couple other dudes for like a Corbin Burns for a year or something.
And I don't necessarily think that's the worst idea, but also at the same time, like, then you have to find a third baseman.
Bring IKF back.
You could do that. But I think that Peraza is good insurance for Gleyber, because Gleyber's gone after 2024. Most likely. They're obviously going to probably spend – who knows? But it seems like Peraza Volpe could be the second shortstop combination for a while. We'll see. Again, who knows? Who knows what the Yankees are thinking right now? I personally would like to get it done, though. Ralph is saying that he doesn't want Matt Chapman. I don't want him to. If you go on the YouTube, I'll read out all the comments over there. Again, we're trying to build the YouTube out. So any and all help over there. We got a bunch of people on the spaces and the live. We're figuring out again slowly but surely. Again, speaker. Who's up next? Future, did you have any other thoughts on the roster? I did want to touch on the Giants for a minute too. But this news about Yamamoto, I think it's going to save me 28 t-shirts. How does this, guys, there's 20 of you in here. Smash that retweet button on the YouTube channel. We need to get the YouTube, right above my profile picture in the space. Click on that thing and smash the retweet button and the like button. We need to get more people over to the YouTube. We'll do an hour consistently. Somebody wanted to make, I'm not in my, obviously we got the Christmas tree behind me. We're not in the regular studio because we wanted to, I don't even know if this looks better than the actual studio upstairs, but we're trying as hard as we possibly can. Jay Cirillo comments on YouTube. I'm predicting 9 years, $308 million for either New York team, and it still calls for a promotion. All right, fair enough. Appreciate everybody in here. Let's just go around the bases again. We have Wells and Trevino currently at catcher, and I think that's perfectly fine. First baseman Rizzo, second base Torres, shortstop Anthony Volpe, third base DJ LeMahieu. Cause for concern there, possibly. Right field Aaron Judge. Right field Juan Soto. I'm so used to just penciling in Aaron Judge in right field. Center field Aaron Judge. Left field Verdugo. And currently, right now, starting pitching looks like Cole, Rodon, Nestor, Clark Schmidt. What does that mean? We need another starting pitcher. And the bullpen's perfectly fine right now. I did my Madden rankings, my Madden Yankee ratings. Yankees are in desperate need for a starting pitcher. Anybody else want to come up, talk about the New York Yankees? We could do that. There's a bunch of people in here, so don't be shy, people. And again, I wanted to we'll do this real quick while we wait for people to come up. Currently on tankathon.com, after yesterday, the Bears would be picking first, New England would be picking second, the Cardinals would be picking third, Washington fourth, Chicago Bears fifth, New York Jets sixth, and the Giants seventh. What's really funny, actually, is about these New York teams. They're both of their strength of schedule right now is exactly at 5-11. So very, very interesting between the New York teams. But I'm at a point where the Giants have been bad for so long that I want to see the team win, even if that makes them, draft 10. Ralph thinks that DJ will be fine as well. Shout out to Ralph. All right. I said I was going to do an hour on the YouTube Live. We're at 49 minutes, so we got 11 minutes left. All right, we got a question from Riley. 2 questions I have regarding Yamamoto. I heard he's dead set on keeping number 18. Mets are retiring number 18. Wouldn't you think that eliminates them? I don't know how important. That's a good question. That is a really, really good question. I also heard somewhere that Yamamoto prefers to play with another Japanese player. Yankees don't have that. Should we be concerned? Couple of good questions by Riley. The number 18, I think that obviously that would be good, but at the same time, Tanaka wanted 18. He got 19. I don't really think that would be a huge cause for concern. I think that Yamamoto is going to go to the Mets. It's going to be because he accepted like $360 million somewhere outlandish. And I don't think that's personally good for the Mets. So we will see on that. again, shout out to Swift, Future, Hobby, Steven, Gabs, James, DK, Moose, Riley, Yamamoto, Joe, Cello, Dog, Jeff, and Jung Ho. Appreciate all you guys. Obviously, somebody just rang the doorbell. I don't know what's going on over there, but this is what happens when you do the show in the middle of your living room. Okay. Swift, any other thoughts, questions, or concerns regarding the New York Yankees?
Not at this time. No, we just gotta get this Yoshi thing done. I mean, even if we don't get Yoshi, like we were saying, we gotta get somebody. Even bring back Montgomery, or I don't even know. I don't even really know who's out there. But like you were saying, we need pitching because the rotation is not. I don't feel comfortable with it right now.
Yeah, that's fair. It's fair. Jimmy, why no interest in the Cy Young, two-time Cy Young winner who has pitched in the AL East, might cost half the money in years? And speaking of Snell, who is a friend of Judge. Yeah, what is Snell going to cost? That's the real question. Ralph is saying that Snell is a 5-inning pitcher. Again, I think the focus is on Yamamoto until it's not right now. So yeah, that's really where we're at with that. We'll do 8 more minutes and then we'll get out of here.
Quick thing on Snell, I personally I wouldn't mind Snell because he has experience in the AL East. He pitched for Tampa for gosh, I don't even know how many years, 5-6 years. So like, I trust him more than I don't even know.
The question is, what is Snell going to be on the open market?
Probably 250, 300, I would guess. He's going to cost a lot of money.
Right, and then how old is Blake Snell?
Probably 28, somewhere around there. Let me check.
Yeah, again, Snell has nasty stuff. He clearly doesn't make it late into games, and again, he's a backup option. But when you have there's a reason. I was talking to a lot of smart people about Yamamoto yesterday. There's a reason why the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, the Red Sox, all these, and the Phillies, all these big name teams want Yamamoto. It's because he's 25 years old and he throws the ball 99 miles an hour. So it's interesting. Definitely interesting. All right, there's 21 of you guys in here. I hope all of you guys are subscribed to Jimmy Randazzo Show on YouTube. We have 545 subscribers. And yeah, we're doing pretty good. And we're gonna get some guests on here. I don't want to click in here, but I think that this looks a little bit better. We're gonna continue to make this show, the graphics look better and everything. I really just wanted to do a test today on, there's this thing that says powered by StreamYard in the top right corner that I'll get rid of as well. And then we're going to get a bunch of guests on here. And, even if Swift wanted to come on for a second, I could send him the link and we could get him on the YouTube channel and whatnot. And we can take questions that way as well. But I figured right now this makes the most sense. Shout out to all you guys. We hit 25K on Twitter. So appreciate all you beasts. And yeah, I think people right now are just like, damn, when is this going to happen? This whole Yamamoto thing. And it could take a little while. But I appreciate everybody on the Twitter space because you're the reason why these YouTube shows are going on right now. And don't forget to go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe to Jimmy Randazzo Show. Hater helps the bullpen like Diaz did for the Mets. I'm missing an elite closer. Ted, I mean, you're making a lot of sense, Ted. But I also think that the Yankees need to get a starting pitcher before they worry about a reliever. And yeah, these guys are saying it. They don't trust Clay Holmes. You can always get help on a reliever during the trade deadline. And again, You get Yamamoto, you can start focusing on corner infield depth, bullpen depth. But I think it's really important to get a starting pitcher first. Dylan Cease would be such a great project for Blake, but that's just me. No, I mean, again, there's some starting pitchers who I think Yankee fans would be perfectly fine pivoting to, but obviously Yamamoto would be the best choice as of right now. Yeah, and I think that we're just waiting for Yamamoto to make a move, and then you pivot from there. Jordan Hicks could be an option, obviously. Josh Hader would be a great option. But if Yamamoto doesn't choose the Yankees have to figure something out. I didn't realize that Yamamoto was like so slender and short, and I don't know. I don't know how that really makes me feel, actually, that he's like, how tall is Yamamoto again? I think he's like 5'9", 170. Did we just read that in the Jeff Passan article correctly? That's crazy. And then Ted's asking what Plan B looks like. I think Plan B would be to trade for Corbin Burns. That's personally what I would do. But obviously, it'd be better to pay somebody than to trade prospects for him. We'll see. We'll see in the upcoming days. Apparently, the date that because he was posted, which means in January 4th, has to be the day. By January 4th, Yamamoto will be a Yankee. Yamamoto will be on a team. Will it be a Yankee? Will he be a Dodger? Will he be a Met? Will he be a Giant? We'll see. It's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting that the Yankees got it done for Juan Soto, and now we've pivot back to starting pitching. But if you're telling me right now, going into the year, I personally don't love the offense yet. I think there's major holes. Listen, if the Yankees played a 40-game season right now, they have a great chance to win the World Series. But you got to play 162. And they're kind of old. They're old and young at the same time. It's a very weird place to be. And I think that you have to continue to increase the offense, the bullpen, the starting pitching, all three facets of the game. And you can't rest on your laurels by just getting a Juan Soto. Any other questions, thoughts, concerns? Appreciate all you guys on the space, on the YouTube. Gab's the same. Am I alone in thinking that we made a mistake in trading King? No, King only has 2 years left on his arbitration. King could be a free agent is going to be a free agent in 2026. So I'm perfectly fine with getting rid of King. Obviously, he's a great player, but Juan Soto is better. It's just better. 1 year of Juan Soto is better than 2 years of King. Any which way you look at it. Especially because he's going to be on an innings limit. And how about we pass and take the $300 million and get Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery? I think you're going to need a lot more than $300 million to get both of those guys down in pinstripes, but I don't hate those moves as well. And Ralph's saying the offense is an issue. Yeah, it is an issue. It's definitely an issue. It was an issue last year with the addition of Juan Soto. Is it still an issue? Yeah. Also, though, I don't know what the offense looks like with Juan Soto in it. It'd be nice if Giancarlo Stanton could maybe he takes a page out of Jeff Passan's article on Yoshinobu Yamamoto, because we need these guys to stay healthy all year round. We're at 60 minutes on the YouTube channel, figuring out all of what's going on YouTube. Appreciate everybody on the Twitter space hanging out. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna do exactly 60 minutes, and it is what it is. I'll see you guys tomorrow.